Hello and welcome to the program. I'm your host, Neil Howard. Thank you so much for being here with us on Health Professional Radio. Going to have a conversation with Dr. William Levine. He's a founder and chief scientific officer of CannRX. It's a subsidiary of Izun Pharmaceuticals, and he's joining us on the program to talk about their development of scientifically based cannabis technologies targeting sleep disorders and also pain control. Welcome to the program, Dr. Levine. How are you?
I'm well, thank you, and thank you, Neil, for inviting me to the program.
What is your specialty?
Actually, I'm a periodontist by training. I specialize in gum diseases.
What is CannRX, and what exactly does your company work on?
So CannRX is a subdivision of a larger pharmaceutical company called Izun Pharmaceuticals. Izun Pharmaceuticals focuses on providing quality healthcare products that are based on botanical sources. So we are experts in taking a botanical material, plant material, with a long history of safety and a reputed history of some efficacy. We then evaluate the efficacy, and how does this plant work? We break it apart, we analyze all the different molecules that are active, and then we design a system for optimizing that so that we can enjoy the benefits of a efficacy-driven product like a drug, but with the safety profile of a botanical material. That's what Izun does. And CannRX is our division, a subdivision of Izun Pharmaceuticals, which is totally dedicated to utilizing the pharmacologic benefits of cannabis in a efficacy-driven and a safe way.
Are you only focused on sleep disorders and pain relief, or are there other benefits of cannabis that you're working on?
So we actually took a look at the cannabis plant, and if you think about the cannabis plant, it's a relatively unique plant because most common method that's been utilized over the last thousands of years has been to basically either vaporize it or smoke this plant. So it's brought into the body in a very different way than most botanical materials that you'd find on the market today, or in ethnobotanical use today. So the first thing we had to figure out in CannRX is, okay, how do we get the active botanical materials out of the plant in an efficacy-driven way, in a scientific way? Two, how do we get them into the body of the patient who wants to take that in an efficacious way? And then how do we design targeted formulations or relevant formulations for the disorder that we want to treat or the experience that we want that person to have? So the first thing we did was basically we designed an entirely new extraction system, which what it does is it replicates a vaporization system, so it actually creates a gas plume from the cannabis. We then solubilize that gas plume in a series of solubilization chambers to get an extremely clean oil, which basically has the ideal therapeutic profile that you'd get if you would smoke or vaporize, but without any of the harmful constituents. In addition to that, it actually eliminates all the pesticides and eliminates all the mold and mildew and the toxins that are associated with it. So the resultant oil is the cleanest and most highly effective oil that can be gotten today on the market. So that's our vapor capture technology that is patented and is unique really in the world of extraction. So that's how we get the botanical material out of the plant. Then we designed a system where if you think about what happens inside our body when we take in medication or we take in food, the body has a system that works through the blood system, or it basically distributes nutrients to where it needs to go and removes the toxins from where they need to be eliminated, through which they need to be eliminated. So we actually mimic that system on a laboratory scale, or a pharmaceutical scale, where we actually bind cannabis to molecules that are soluble in the bloodstream. And what that does is it gets the cannabis into your body efficiently and allows us to control the dose much more efficiently than you would normally. So we can either shorten the dose, make it more potent. So it's a very unique system that really gets the cannabis in faster in a more controlled way and increasing the bioavailability. And then what we do is we focus on, okay, we know how to take the cannabis out of the plant. We know how to put it into your body. Now, how do we make sure that you get the right cannabis for what you really want? You want to sleep? It's a different cannabis than for pain. And a different cannabis that you might want to use to treat your side effects of, or let's say, Parkinson's. So we call that biorelevant. So how do we make sure that cannabis is biorelevant to you? So what we do is we basically set up using pharmacological biomodels, which are accepted in the industry. We say, okay, so we break the cannabis apart. We make sure we know which cannabinoids are responsible for which disorder, and then we formulate a product based on that. So I hope that gives you a picture of what we do.
If someone is having insomnia, you have a formulation for that. Or if someone is, I guess, maybe sleeping too much, maybe you have a formulation for that. Is that what I'm hearing? There's different cannabinoids for each and every disorder that could possibly be out there?
So actually, Neil, that's a very, very good question, because most people don't think about it like that. And certainly the pharma industry doesn't think about it like that. In other words, if you think about what a sleep disorder would be, some people have trouble falling asleep. Some people have trouble, they don't sleep for a long enough period of time. And some people sleep for enough time, but they just don't have a restful sleep. So they wake up multiple times during the sleep. So the advantage of taking a drug like cannabis or a product like cannabis would be, okay, we have many active cannabinoids in here. So if we could figure out which cannabinoids are active and which aspect of sleep, we can actually multi-target the whole sleep problem and create a broad-spectrum product that can affect all of those. So the answer is yes, we can actually tell you which cannabinoids are responsible for falling asleep, what we call onset, which cannabinoids are responsible for staying asleep, we refer to that as duration, and which cannabinoids are effective in making sure that you don't have multiple awakenings. And there are different cannabinoids. When we blend them all together, we create an ideal sleep product.
I'm assuming that the same process is undertaken when you're dealing with things that cause pain, whether it be musculoskeletal, nerve. Is that a fair assumption?
Oh, it's absolutely correct. And for every disorder that we address, we want to have this done in the scientific way so that I know that when you take this product, it's going to give you the result that you want.
As far as the THC CBD versus kind of controversy thing, are you taking the entire plant and formulating it into different formulations? Are you separating THC from CBD, or does it even matter?
So the answer is yes, but partially no. Yes, we look at THC as both an independent, and we also look at THC with its organic spectrum, and there are different effects. So you in some ways THC will have certain effects when it's all by itself and as an independent delivery, but in other instances, and by the way, the same holds for CBD, it'll have similar effects or sometimes even more potent effect when it's housed within the synergy of all the other molecules that would be in the full organic extract of cannabis. So we have to look at both aspects before we make a final product.
Do any of these formulations have specific delivery methods? For instance, if it's one disorder, is it only a vaporized form? In another, is it a smoke? In another, is it, say, a gummy or an injection?
So the answer is absolutely yes. And so thank you for bringing that up. In certain disorders, you want to have this inhaled product because it relaxes you and maybe it gets into your system faster. On the other hand, let's say you're having acute pain. Well, you want to have this in your body as fast as you possibly can. So we can deliver that by a sublingual dose, which would be in your body in 5 minutes, and you'd start having a reduction of the pain in 5 minutes. On the other hand, let's say you're suffering from ongoing chronic pain. You'd want to have that delivered per us, in other words, as an ingestion, not necessarily a gummy, but anything that brings it into your system and makes sure that it gets absorbed, where you'd have a longer distribution throughout your body. So each target gets its own delivery system and its own product.
Dr. Levine, where can we go online and get some more information about CannRX?
So CannRX has a website. It's actually a little bit basic and probably needs to be reworked slightly, but we're so busy doing our research that we haven't really addressed that. But CannRX is available on CannRX.com. Okay, www.cannrx.com. Yeah.
That's CANNRX.com, right?
Correct. Thank you, Neil.
Dr. Levine, thank you so much for joining us here on Health Professional Radio. It's been a pleasure and quite informative.
Thank you, Neil. I appreciate it. And thanks again for having me.
You've been listening to Health Professional Radio. I'm your host, Neil Howard. Transcripts and audio of this program are available at hpr.fm and healthprofessionalradio.com.au. You can also subscribe to this podcast on iTunes, listen in, and download at SoundCloud. And be sure and visit our affiliates page at hpr.fm and healthprofessionalradio.com.au.
Thank you for listening to Health Professional Radio. We're very proud to be an independent broadcaster providing our content free of charge to you, the listener. One of the ways that we're able to remain free and independent is by having people like you become patrons. You can support Health Professional Radio simply by visiting hpr.fm and clicking the button that says Become a Patron. Your patronage of even just $1 a month lets us know that you're there, which in turn makes us more valuable to advertisers. And, of course, if you're able to afford more, then we would certainly appreciate the support. My name is Toby Longhurst from Health Professional Radio. Please visit hpr.fm, click the Become a Patron button, and support us if you can.